Senator Harry, I only have one eye Reid.
He only has one eye?
Got poked out from that accident.
That's right.
The treadmill accident.
I forgot about that.
Mark, I am now the 4th richest person in the world, Zuckerberg.
Wow.
Did you know that? That came
I
out
thought
this
you were
week.
going to say Cuban.
No, Mark Cuban? No.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg, this week, I think on Forbes Fortune, is the 4th. Is it the 4th? Yeah, it's up the top. It's within the 5th.
I didn't know.
5 richest people in the world.
Wow.
And then yours and mine, near and dear to our heart, nice, warm, and fuzzy. George, I'm a communist, Soros. All endorsed Rubio's immigration package.
Well, that right there should tell you everything. Rubio's off the table with the Gang of 8.
Okay. Well, he also said Rubio has not renounced his support for a single policy item outlined in the Gang of 8 bill.
But what did you say before the show, during show prep? You said that he said that
oh my goodness, it was
the biggest one.
Breaking news on Facebook. He was on Facebook. On the news, somebody posted on Facebook in an interview, he said, and I quote, immigration, legalizing immigrants.
Amnesty
first. Border security comes second.
So he wants to legalize
first
all the illegals in America before securing the border.
Yes.
That is exactly what people who want immigrants to flood like a tsunami over the border want to do. Because that's what will happen. Because as soon as you do that, they're like, oh, I want to get involved in that. Right. I want amnesty. I want to be a free American citizen without having to do anything other than jump the border.
Right.
That's why it's the logical step to secure the border first, then we could deal with what we got here.
You remember the whole... You know who Frank Lutz is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's breaking news about him. I read about this. Turns out...
Throwing up in my mouth.
Turns out he has ties to the Rubio campaign, doesn't he?
Remember the last debate when Rubio came out and it looked like Rubio did very well.
Right.
He did surge in the numbers a little bit, and he gave that eloquent speech that Rush Limbaugh liked.
Right.
Made me very upset.
Mm-hmm.
But Rush did not endorse Rubio.
He just said he sounded really good.
And he did sound really good because he also went on with Megyn Kelly and did a hit piece, and the two of them were making fun of Trump.
Okay, so there's that. But didn't Frank Luntz's group miraculously...
It's not clear whether Fox was aware of that history when it broadcast Luntz quizzing focus group members. This from Matt Drudge. Following the debate, he was eliciting responses such as, did Rubio not sound confident, eloquent, electable?
That's a leading question.
Presidential.
Wait, this is the question to the panel.
But not following up with one dissident who called Rubio an attractive opportunist. Never.
They got rid of him.
Walked away from that.
They actually escorted him out.
Right. Well, between 2005 and 2007, when Rubio was first Speaker designate and then Speaker of the House, the Republican Party of Florida paid Luntz's consulting companies a total of $345,000, according to Florida Division of Elections filings. That was the period when Luntz helped Rubio produce his first project called, quote, 100 Innovative Ideas, which included a book of policy proposals that Rubio pushed during his 2 years in charge of the state house. Conservative icon and grassroots heroine. There's a whole separate story, but anyways. So yes, during his run-up in Florida as a politician contender, laying the groundwork for his political run as president, Frank Lutz received, and the article said, not 3/4, $1/3 of $1 million. Who says $1/3 million?
Well, because you got to be able to point out there's $1 million. It's a portion of $1 million.
It's 1/1/16 of $1 million. 1/100th of $1 million.
Well, if I gave you $1,000, I could say 1/1000th of $1 million.
Right. So, anyways, it was $345,000 that Frank Luntz's organization received to directly help Rubio's political campaign. Follow the money, folks. Who says that? Rush says it all the time. Follow the money.
Oh, every conspiracy theorist who ever lived says that.
So, I haven't talked about Phyllis Schifly. She's a very iconic grassroots heroine for conservatism.
Heroin?
Heroine.
Okay.
Not on heroin.
Right, I get it.
For conservatism. And this is the second time she's come out with an article. One, she came out supporting Trump. And another one, she came out this week, released a new report extensively detailing Senator Marco Rubio's efforts to deceive the American people in his determined pursuit to open the nation's border.
Oh, my gosh. We cannot have this guy as
Schifly,
president. We cannot have Marco Rubio as president after all this you just said.
Yeah.
And the Frank Luntz thing is really suspicious. That question you said that that was the most leading thing.
Yeah, those are the fourth that he used the word confident, eloquent, electable, and presidential.
Wait, those were part of the questions?
Right, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did Rubio seem eloquent? Did he seem
president? Didn't he seem eloquent?
Really presidential, like real strong.
He did seem that way. Yes or no?
Dictator? Dictator? No.
No.
Oh, no. Right. No. So
they were leading questions.
So Schifly has a 15-page report on Rubio's quote betrayal. She provides hyperlinked sources to documents on Rubio's big con.
Wow, those are strong words.
Yeah, very strong. And she is, when I say she's seasoned, if you will. Probably, upwards over 70. I mean, she's been in this world her whole life, and she's very seasoned and conservative values. Now, again, we're not voting for Trump. We're not pushing Trump on this show. Folks, we're not.
But I'm done with Rubio.
Oh!
Now, if he ends up being the establishment guy and end up...
I will vote for Rubio if he is...
you got to take Rubio over the communists.
Sanders?
Right.
We're just slowing the bleed with Rubio.
I mean...
Rubio might even be a tourniquet.
That was a good one.
We're going to lose the leg, but we're going to save the body.
There you go. Oh, that was
breaking news. Rubio the tourniquet.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to make a meme. Copyright Smith Radio. Oh my god,
we're gonna tourniquet Florida. We might.
Where do you think Cuba came from?
Right, we might.
That used to be the foot.
I know we might lose. We did. We lost the foot. We lost Cuba. We might lose the leg of Florida, but at least we got the rest of the states.
You got to thumb us up for that. Come on, guys.
If you made it this far in the show,
you're definitely right now. Take the time and thumb us up.
Thumb it up. Share it with a friend of yours and say, "Hey, man, listen to minute 6. I mean, the last 6 minutes of the show."
Oh my gosh.
Oh, anyway, so yeah, if Cruz is it, Cruz will be better than anybody that would ever come against. I don't know how he's going to fare in the general election against Sanders. It's a tough one. Yeah.
Well, Cruz is like the polar opposite. He seems like that constitutional free market capitalist type guy, no holds barred, that kind of. And then Sanders is like, what are we doing with this old, outdated document? We need to make all the workers of the world unite.
But he's getting these young children full of mush for brains to believe.
Well, they've been primed by the communist takeover of the Department of Education, which has become the propaganda arm of the Communist Party.
Correct. So Quinnipiac poll released Friday, this was yesterday, shows that Republican frontrunner Donald Trump still holds a nationwide lead over his GOP rivals. Trump at 31% support, a 9-point lead over Ted Cruz at 22. Pulling into third is Rubio with 19%.
Nationwide?
He has never pulled that high nationwide.
Even remember the very first debate, he got really high praises. And I know that was the Lund's focus group and all that. The very first debate.
Yeah, but I don't know what the nationwide polls were at that time.
Right, and he did get a bump, but you're right. I don't think he's ever hit 19%.
This far into the game, and he's hitting 19, I think he's got to be excited in his camp. There's no question about it.
What do you think happens if Kasich, Bush, and Christie, all three of those guys drop out? Like 100% of all those votes
Christie's
go to
establishment, Rubio. Right. Christie's establishment. Kasich, I don't know much about
pretty
that.
much establishment.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And Bush. If all three of those guys dropped out tomorrow, like 100% of those votes go to Rubio.
Well, they're saying everyone else is at 6% and below. There's little love for the governor, Jeb, or Kasich, or even Christie.
All right, let's crunch some numbers.
Who are all tied. Jeb, John, and Chris are all tied at 3.
Oh, I thought you said 6.
Well, yeah, add it all up together. It's no, add it all up together, and it's
10.
9. 3, 3, and 3.
3. Oh.
So give Rubio 9.
That gets what? 27?
He's 28.
27, 28.
28. And
I mean, that's serious knocking on the back door of Trump.
It's 31%. Trump's only got 31.
Oh, okay. So he's pretty much statistically tied if the establishment candidates all unify behind Rubio.
Now, if Cruz dropped out, Cruz is...
Oh, they're not going to Rubio. No way.
They'd have to go to Trump.
A good portion of them.
And I bet you half of them will sit out.
You're right. That's bad for Trump, though.
Well, it's bad for America in general, but...
But you know what? I've heard this time and time and time again. They even...
Okay, go ahead, but I got to get to the sound clip real quick before we run out of time.
Okay, real quick. Democrats will not vote for any Republican except for Trump.
And fear does funny things. Fear can lead us to lash out against those who are different.
It's a bomb at the National Prayer Breakfast.
Or lead us to try to get some sinister other under control.
What?
And if we let it consume us, the consequences of that fear can be worse than any outward threat. For me, and I know for so many of you, faith is the great cure for fear.
What? Dude.
Hold on.
Jesus is a good cure for fear.
Are you kidding me?
God gives believers the power, the love, the sound mind required to conquer any fear. And so like every president, like every leader, like every person, I've known fear.
Every person I know fear.
But my faith tells me
Listen, my faith.
that I need not fear death.
Muslims
That the
don't.
acceptance of Christ promises everlasting life and the washing away of sins.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
It's interesting. That nice little tie-in there between two communists.
Wow. This is the fastest 3 hours you will ever spend in your entire life right here on Smith Radio with Kerry Smith and Brian Smith knocking it out of the park once again.
We will see you guys next week. That'll be 8 days since it's Saturday. Yeah. Next Sunday at 5.
Happy Super Bowl to all y'all. I hope your team wins.
And I'm sure they will.
Good night now.
With unfathomable power.
What kind of power?
Unfathomable.
It's without fathom.